Well, the Singapore Squash Association will be holding open trials next year in a bid to draw more competitive players aged 19 and above. This comes amid plans to develop the local squash scene, with the sport set to make its Olympic debut in 2028. But as Clara finds out, some challenges still stand in the way.
At 24, Ao Yong Yen is already making great strides in her sport. She's the first local woman to win an event at the Professional Squash Association Challenger Tour, one of the world's biggest tournaments for up-and-coming players. Ranked 84th in the world, she plans to go pro by June, especially now that the sport is bound for the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles.
I'm kind of reaching my prime, I think, because a lot of squash players now, the top players are around their 30s, almost at 30. So I think it's really good. I have a really good chance, and it has been big motivation for me to really strive for that. So I'm really hoping I get the opportunity to participate in it.
But she admits that recognition for the sport is still lacking in Singapore.
In Singapore, squash isn't that big, not many people hear of it. Sometimes you ask, if they ask you, what sport do you play, and say squash, they're like, oh, what's that? And it's quite sad to hear, but it being on the Olympic stage, it's going to be shown everywhere, shown on TV, everyone around the world is going to be watching it, and then hopefully if they see, if they actually showcase like how tough our sport is, how much tactics is going on there, how much the physicality of it, and then like a lot more kids will be interested in it.
That's exactly what the Singapore Squash Racquets Association hopes to see. It now has about 40 children under its junior development programs, thanks to 2 recruitment calls this year.
Meanwhile, the association is looking to draw more competitive players from the older age groups. In fact, they plan to host an open trial next year for those aged 19 and above. And while it might be my first time holding a squash racket, why not give it a shot?
While I certainly will not make the team, the SSRA is hopeful that this will train up those who are neither complete beginners nor serious athletes yet. However, the lack of facilities remains a problem. The 7 courts at the Kallang Squash Centre, which have been here for the past 50 years, were initially slated for demolition by the end of this year. While the deadline has been pushed back due to the pandemic, the SSRA still hasn't found a new home.
At the moment, squash is still a little bit of an elite sport, and we do not have courts that are accessible to people from the heartlands. Well, not enough at least. But SSRA is working very hard with private clubs and condos and the schools to allow courts to be more accessible to everyone.
For now, it will take as much borrowed time as it can get.